What's up, guys? Swift here. Today I wanted to talk briefly about our 2023 schedule. I was live when it was announced and gave some quick takes, but now after having a week or so to look it over, I wanted to talk about my biggest takeaways from the 2023 schedule. Let's get right into it. My favorite thing about the schedule was the bye week placement, and not just the week 13 bye, which comes at the perfect time. I'll touch more on that in just a few minutes, but think about just how the Thursday night games are scheduled and when our extra rest comes into play. Matt Eberflus is 2-1 so far when getting extra preparation to play a team. His loss coming to the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles in a close game. It's clear Eberflus is different from our past head coaches and does a better job of getting his team ready to play when he has extra time. This should be a bonus this season as we have 3 periods of extra rest and they are spread out perfectly throughout the season. We start the game off with 5 games, with the 5th game coming on short rest, a Thursday night football matchup with the Commanders. After that, we get a 10-day break and what Eberflus likes to call a mini bye to prepare for the Minnesota Vikings. So that's 5 games and then a mini bye. And then we play another 5 games, followed by another mini bye, because the 10th game is also on Thursday Night Football against the Carolina Panthers. So we play 5 games, get a mini bye, play another 5 games, get another mini bye, and then we play 2 tough divisional games on the road, and then get our real bye week before finishing the season on a 5-game stretch of very winnable games. More on that in just a moment too. So I love how the bye weeks are spread out, and I think it gives our team perfect chance for rest and preparation during the season. Speaking of rest though, the Bears will travel less than any team in the NFL this season. Talk about a bonus. I had made a point about the rest we have between some games and the mini bye weeks, but according to ESPN, we have the best net rest differential since 2002, meaning our schedule is very favorable and our team is going to be very well rested for a lot of our important matchups. This should not be overlooked. Another very favorable stat. But let's talk about how the Bears have an opportunity to start the season hot. The Bears open the season with a very favorable schedule, especially if you don't count the Chiefs. In the first 7 games, the Bears have 4 home games and play only 2 playoff teams from last year, the Chiefs and Vikings. There are some very winnable games early on at home against the Packers, Broncos, Raiders, and Vikings, plus road games in Tampa and Washington. The toughest matchup of the season comes in Week 3 at Arrowhead, but the Bears still have an opportunity to start the season out very strong. Which brings me to my next point, our toughest stretch of the season. At the Chargers, at the Saints, short rest against the Panthers, and then at the Lions, at the Vikings, 4 out of 5 games on the road. It starts in Week 8 when we travel to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers, and then we stay on the road and go to New Orleans to battle the Saints next week. That's back-to-back road games against potential playoff teams, and then on short rest, we got the Panthers at home for Thursday night. Then we have that much-needed mini bye week before our back-to-back division games on the road at Detroit and Minnesota. This 5-game stretch will determine if the Bears are contenders or pretenders this season. 4 out of our 5 games on the road, all 5 teams were at least in the running to make the playoffs last year, and you play 2 big divisional games on the road. This makes it even more important for Chicago to start the season strong and take advantage of some of those early winnable games, because from Week 8 to Week 12, this will determine how good this team is in 2023. Is after that tough stretch of games, we get our much-needed bye week and then have the easiest stretch of the season to finish it off. While no team in the NFL is easy, and I mean no disrespect, the Bears have a very favorable schedule to end the season. We get a late week bye in Week 13 and then finish with 5 games against winnable opponents. We face 0 playoff teams from last year over the last 5 games of the season. On top of that, we play 3 of our final 5 games at home. That's about as favorable as it gets in the NFL. It starts out at week 14 at home against the Detroit Lions, coming off a bye, so we have extra rest to prepare for a bye week against the team we just played. Then we travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. After that, we come back home and get the Arizona Cardinals and Atlanta Falcons in back-to-back winnable games at home. Those could be the 2 most winnable games of the entire season, at least on paper. And then we finish off in Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers, who don't have Aaron Rodgers anymore. There's a lot to love there. A lot goes into this. And it's crazy to make a record prediction this early, but it's fun. I think this is a very favorable schedule for the Chicago Bears, and they have a great chance to make some noise in 2023. But this is a team that should be battling for a playoff spot if we can stay healthy. And I don't normally like to do it, but I did one last year, so we'll spend just a minute on this, but I'll go ahead and go through my picks for the year way too early. We don't even know how our roster is going to shape out completely, but this is how I can see the season going. Didn't put too much time into this, but I think we can start off with a couple wins against the Packers and the Bucks. The Chiefs, no way, I can't put a W there. The Broncos and Commanders, 2 more very winnable games. Vikings are going to be tough. I think we can beat the Raiders. The Chargers and Saints right there, those 2 games are going to be 2 of the hardest of the year. We better beat the Panthers. Our first round pick position is on the line there. It's a home game. We got to win that. I think these next 2 games after the Panthers in weeks 11 and 12 are going to be 2 of the toughest of the season. If we could pull out a win in one of those weeks, that's going to be huge. Then we go into our bye. We come out, we get the Lions at home. I expect a win there. The Browns are a team that's tough. Deshaun Watson should be getting in his groove around then. They're battling for the AFC North. It's a tough division. That's on the road as well. That one I can't give us. The Cardinals and Falcons, both winnable. And then Jordan Love to close out the season. Chance for the playoffs to be on the line. I have us going 10-7. There's a lot of winnable games, and a lot of this depends on staying healthy. But man, let's get it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Give me your record prediction. It's just for fun. Stay tuned, guys. Please remember to hit that like button for me. And until next time, bear down.
Swifty in the house!